Hi, my name is Kunqian Zhou. This is a video presentation for my midterm project in the business modeling with spreadsheets class, CIS 9467. My topic is how does real estate market evolve in the last 20 years and during the pandemic. I'm trying to figure out how the market is changing over time and if the pandemic makes any positive or negative impacts. The data are collected from Zillow and Kaggle. For the agenda, I will start with the data clean first, then go to the market overview. I also did a comparison for single family versus condo versus rental. I will also talk about the impact of COVID-19 on the real estate market, and then analysis for the transactions happening in the market. Last is summary. For data clean, these are the data collected from the website. These are raw data. Since they are not in a good format to do visualizations, I make a transpose to put all the states into a column and all of the states to put them as a headers. I also calculate the variance here. These are using the max median price to minus the lowest one, so we can identify those states with the largest fluctuations. This is the 2020 variance. By the way, these data are all for the median price of the house. This is for all home type. I also have the for condo and for single family and for rental. For the transactions, I also add the state median price from the all home type tab to here, so we can have more information to compare. In the overview, this is using the data from the all home type tab. I put all the data into the chart in order to observe the overall trend. In the chart, we can see that in the past 20 years, the overall real estate market shows an increasing trend with big fluctuations during 2008 financial crisis. In 2010, the market was at the bottom during the last 15 years, and it took almost 7 years to reach at the peak level of 2008 since the crisis. We also see that these top three lines, that is District of Columbia, Hawaii, and California. These are the top three states with biggest fluctuations and highest median price in 2020. And we don't see any big negative impact on the real estate market. I mean, the median price for all home types caused by the pandemic. It shows slightly increasing trend in 2020 here. As I mentioned before, I'm using the variance to identify 10 states with the largest fluctuations. So we can clearly see the trend now, the fluctuations in the 2008 crisis, the bottom in 2010, and the increasing trend after 2010, and also slightly increasing trend in 2020. In here, I put the New York and California state data here only for 2020, so we can see that if the pandemic make any impact here, we do see some very slight increase during this year. In the table here, we can see that since 2011, in California, the median price for all home type increases by almost 40%. That is a big jump. I also did the comparison for single home, condo, and rental during the pandemic. These are the data in 2020 for only New York and California. I'm only choosing 2 states to make it not too complex. In New York City, we could see that the pandemics make some impacts on the real estate market. Single home increases by 5%, while condo almost keep flat. The median price for the rentals decreased by 6%. In California, I choose San Francisco and Los Angeles as a focus to showing the trend. the median price for both states, for both cities are almost flat. We don't see any big negative or positive impacts. In Los Angeles, we could see that the single home increased slightly and the condo almost keep flat, but the rentals, we could see that in San Francisco, the rental decreased by 7%, and in Los Angeles, it's almost flat. We can see that the pandemic really makes impact on the rental market negatively. Here, I did a analysis for the impact of COVID-19. This first map is the accumulated cases in each state as of September 30. And this one is the median price increases of all home types in 2020 in each state. We actually could see that the patterns match for the two maps. For those states with more cases, like California and some states in the East, the median price changes for the properties are higher. Last analysis is a transaction analysis. I'm using the transaction numbers here in the US. It only calculates the number of transactions happened in each month, not the revenues. In this pie chart, we could see that among the total transactions in 2020, states California, Texas, Ohio, IL, and JA have the highest transaction number. In the last 3 years, 2018, 19, 20, I put up the total transaction numbers here. We could see that in 2020, it's not a full year data, but it almost keep flat with 2018. The market is not bad. In here, I put the state median price as the x-axis and the number of transactions as a y-axis. So we can see how those number of transactions is evolving during last 3 years. For here, in this chart, we could see that the trend of the overall transactions in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Obviously, we can see that the pandemic makes impact in 2020. The number of transactions was at the bottom in April, and after April, it increases, and we could tell that the market is recovering now. This are the top 5 states from here. After all of this analysis, let's recall some key findings. In the past 20 years, the overall real estate market shows an increasing trend with big fluctuations during the financial crisis in 2008. The 2010, the market was at the bottom, and it took 7 years to reach at the peak level of 2008. Now there is no big negative impact shown on the median price for all home types caused by the pandemic in the market. It shows slightly increasing trend in 2020 for the price. We also see that the pandemic makes a very big negative impact on the rental market. In New York and in Los Angeles, the rental price decreased by 6 or 7%. And also, as shown in the map, for those states with more cases, the median price changes for the properties are higher. Lastly, we could tell from the transactions in 2020, especially in April, the transaction numbers are at the bottom. But now the trend shows us the market is recovering. This is pretty much my analysis. I feel like the map, that function is really powerful when I do the analysis. It could let me to find a similarity for the different two data sets. Thank you for listening. Thank you.